morning, readers. Welcome to another day in our nonfiction unit. Nonfiction, as you know, is very different from reading fiction. When we read fiction, we pay attention to things like the characters and the setting where the story takes place and who's in it. We pay attention to the beginning, the middle, and end, and of course, the problem and solution. But nonfiction books are not set up that way. We read fiction to enjoy, for pleasure, to hear a story. We read nonfiction to learn, to gain new information and facts. So authors of nonfiction, like you, are working really hard to teach us as readers. So you know that no matter what we're reading, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, we're always thinking hard about what's happening in the text. When we're reading fiction, we're thinking hard about the story. When we're reading nonfiction, we're thinking hard about the facts. Readers are thinkers. We know that it doesn't matter if we can read a word. If we don't understand what we're reading, we're not really reading. So there are things we have, strategies that we have to help us understand what we're reading. Some of those strategies are visualizing, picturing what's happening. We can do that in fiction and nonfiction. Making connections helps us understand what we're reading, whether we're reading fiction or nonfiction. Asking questions helps us understand what we're reading, if we're reading fiction or nonfiction. And retelling helps us when we're reading fiction. These charts are tools to help us when we're talking with our partners or we're writing about what we're reading, because it helps us know what to say when we're visualizing, making connections, asking questions, or retelling. Today we learn one more strategy that can help us understand what we read when we're reading nonfiction, and that is the strategy of paraphrasing. When we paraphrase, we restate what we're learning in the book, what the author is teaching us, in our own words. That's what paraphrasing means. So when we paraphrase, we say things like, in this book, the authors teach how cats go from babies to adults, right? In this part of the book, I learn how crabs eat. In this chapter, the authors explain how monkeys pick bugs off of other monkeys' fur. In this section, the book is showing me about how plants grow. So far, I've learned. So these are words and phrases we use when we're paraphrasing. Remember, paraphrase means telling what we've read in a nonfiction book in our own words. So paraphrasing is a skill that we're going to be practicing in our interactive notebook as we go through our nonfiction unit. Let me show you. I have moved with purpose in a level 0 voice to work on writing, because that's the station that I'm at in the reading workshop. This is what our paraphrasing sheet looks like. The directions are the same as all of our other interactive notebooks. Fill out the sentence stems, then cut and paste the box into your reading notebook. Remember that if you don't finish in one station, you can finish it up in Read to Self or in Word Work. So let's look at the stems for paraphrasing. The nonfiction book that I'm reading right now, all of my books are fiction right now except for this one. And you have to have a nonfiction book for this. So you always need to have at least one nonfiction book in your book box. And this is mine, Sharks by National Geographic Kids. So I got my one nonfiction book and I'm ready. It says, in this book, the author is teaching me about blank. And I'm going to write sharks because it's obviously all about sharks. He or she, and it's actually not one person. Oh, yeah, it is. Anne Schreiber. So Anne is a she. So she teaches me. And then once I've read the book, I can write what she teaches me about sharks, all the different parts she teaches me. The most interesting part or chapter is about, and then I'll write down what my favorite chapter was about, and then I'll write in this section I learned, and I'll write what I learned in that chapter. So now that I know what Mrs. Norton expects of me, I'm going to start reading my book and filling out my interactive notebook. By National Geographic by Anne Schreiber. Table of contents. Chomp. What is quick? What is quiet? What have 5 rows of teeth? What glides through the water? Chum, it's a shark. Sharks live in all of Earth's oceans. They have been here for a long time. Sharks were here before dinosaurs. Wow, I didn't know that. Oceanic white-tip shark. Word bites. Cartilage. Cartilage is light, strong, and rubbery. The tip of your nose is cartilage. Can you feel how soft it is? Shark tail fins are larger on top. This helps them move through the water better. Hammerhead shark. A shark is a fish, but a shark is not like other fish. Sharks do not have bones. They have soft cartilage instead. Cartilage helps sharks twist and turn. So I finished reading and thinking about my book. Now I'm ready to put it in my own words, because that's what paraphrase means, to re-say what you learned in a nonfiction text using your own words. So I'm going to do that on my interactive notebook. I wrote, in this book, the author is teaching me about sharks, because this book is all about sharks. That's the topic. She teaches me about shark bodies, shark babies, how sharks are strong predators, shark teeth, and about shark attacks. So what I did was I told all the different sections that this author has in the book. So this book has a table of contents. Not all nonfiction books have a table of contents that tell you the chapters, but these were all the different chapters I read about. See, chomp, and then section 1 is chomp, and in this section we learn all about shark bodies. And then in the next chapter about shark pups, we learned all about shark babies, which are called pups. So I wrote shark babies. And how sharks are strong predators was in the next chapter. See, it's pups grow up, and it talks about how they're great hunters. Notice that I didn't just write the chapter names. I put these sections in my own words, because that's what you do when you paraphrase. Now I'm ready to talk about my favorite section, the most interesting part or the most interesting chapter to me. And that was a part all about teeth. Here was the chapter on shark teeth. What big teeth you have. Sharks have many rows of teeth. They are always losing some teeth. Ooh, I have a connection. We, as humans, lose a lot of teeth too. They are always growing new teeth. A shark uses up more than 10,000 teeth in his life. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of teeth. That's definitely different from us. Sand tiger shark. Different sharks have different teeth. Their teeth are perfect for what they eat. Long spiky teeth are for catching. Flat teeth are for grinding. Serrated teeth are for ripping. Serrated. When something is serrated, it has a jagged edge like a saw blade. Word bites. Prehistoric. Prehistoric is a time before people wrote things down. Extinct. Extinct plants and animals are no longer alive on Earth. Wow. Prehistoric sharks had really big teeth, up to 6 inches. Good thing these guys are extinct. Megalodon tooth. The megalodon is a prehistoric shark. Scientists made a life-size model of the megalodon's jaw and put in the teeth they have found. You can imagine how big the shark must have been. Paraphrasing means retelling what I learned in my own words. So I didn't copy from the text. I read it and I thought about it, and then I wrote down what I learned in my own words for my most favorite part. The most interesting chapter, because I have chapters in my book, not every book will have chapters, is about shark teeth. In this section, I learned about how sharks lose their teeth and grow new ones. Different sharks have different shaped teeth too. They can be long and pointy or serrated. Notice that I didn't say everything that was in the chapter. I only told some of the things that I was most interested in. And just like when you're retelling a fiction book, you don't tell every single little detail. In nonfiction, you don't give every single little detail either. You're just telling the main things that you learned. All right, I was running out of time, but I was able to get it done. I think the chimes are gonna ring any second. I made sure to write the date, January 16th, comma, 2019, and then I glued in my first piece. Notice that it's not hanging off the edge. I made sure to cut around it so that it fits nice and neat, and I went right to the next section. I didn't skip pages or go out of order. And then I put the second piece, since it wouldn't fit on this page, on the other page. Readers, today we learned how to paraphrase our nonfiction text. This is just like retelling with fiction, except when we retell, we say the characters and the setting and the problem solution in the beginning, middle, and end. But nonfiction doesn't have those things. We're just learning facts. We're learning information about something. And so in our interactive notebook, this is the trash I'm going to throw away for mine, we paraphrase. We retell what we learned in our own words. Have fun today reporting what you learned from your authors.